positive day. I know right now, if you're anything like me, I'm an empath and I'm feeling a lot of heaviness in the world right now. It's just a lot going on and it's very heavy, and I just hope that you're having a positive day and things are going really well for you. If not, I hope that it brightens up very quickly. I've been really wanting to do a video on kind of my health journey and how I've changed what I eat and kind of how I eat. I'm not a vegetarian. I do say I'm primarily veggie, as in when I am the one that's making food, I tend to stick more to beans for my protein, vegetables, and I don't really do a lot of the animal byproduct. I'm very picky when it comes to anything chicken, steak. I don't really eat pork and eggs specifically, as well as milk. Too much dairy. I have a little bit of a sensitive body, something that I'm still kind of working with to learn and balance. But it's been a very interesting journey, so I thought that maybe I could do a video on it, of how I eat and some information that I've learned from all the research that I do. And hopefully you can get some inspiration from this, or it can kind of ignite that passion for you to eat healthier and feel better every day. Of course, there are tons of reasons why somebody may want to start eating better. You get a lot more energy, you can sleep better, you avoid illnesses, big ones such as cancer, or at least help prevent those. Preventative measures are super important, so having those as well as the everyday common cold. For me personally, I want to focus on all of those. My brain power, specifically more cognition, having the ability to remember things longer or better, because I already do have a challenged memory. All those things are great reasons that you may want to start learning a little bit more about eating healthy and just being better for your body. I wanted to start with a little bit of background as far as what I used to eat. I would go buy some processed food like chimichangas from the store and deep fry it. We actually had one of those professional like double deep frying baskets, a giant deep fryer and lots of grease. I loved the crunchy aspect. It's a texture thing for me, and I've learned over the years how to kind of combat that. I also used to drink 4 to 6 cans or glasses of Dr. Pepper. That lasted for about a year, I want to say. And that was a struggle to give up. I did have migraines for a week or so. So it's that caffeine addiction. I also really love chips. I love the crunch again. Also spicy chips is like my biggest thing that's really hard to stop. And last but not least, condiments. I have always been very referred to as the condiment person that just drenches their stuff in it, specifically ranch and mayonnaise. And I put a lot of cheese on everything. So those are things that I've had to kind of learn to combat and switch to maybe a healthier alternative. Speaking about my sensitive body, primarily geared towards fried food and sugary things like baked goods, a lot of sugar, a lot of fake sugar. Those things tend to give me a lot of nausea, and it comes and goes. So it's things that over the years I've had to learn to try without and try substitutions and hopefully see if that works. I've also found that if I'm going to eat something like that, because of course I love that stuff, if I want to go have a crispy, spicy chicken sandwich, is one of my favorite go-tos. I just try to get the sandwich now, not get the fries, and then I'll try to mitigate it with having something light like a salad or a lot of water, and that helps to ease it. Something I've also experimented with that most people can say that they have is alcohol. Alcoholic beverages tend to be very sweet when it comes to being a mixed drink. Of course, straight alcohol is going to be really intense as far as flavors and how they react to your body. So naturally, I just stay away from alcohol, and I actually really enjoy not having that. It also seems to affect my sleep. So it's another thing that I just naturally don't seem to, my body doesn't seem to naturally like. Some of my absolute favorite meals that I like to enjoy, and I do have kind of my own recipes that I'll share with you guys, is avocado toast is a big one that I go for. I also absolutely love this protein cereal. It's great to have protein right in the beginning of the day. And I'll put some chia seeds with it and drink almond milk. I do not drink regular milk almost completely, unless it's in maybe a Starbucks drink, but I tend to switch to almond milk completely. I also am a big steak lover, so that is one of the big reasons I'm not a vegetarian, is I love steak. And my boyfriend typically will make our dinners, and he's a meat and potato palate, so he tends to have a lot of beef and chicken in our meals. And that's totally fine. I just keep it pretty mild. My lunches, my breakfast will typically be more vegetarian. Also, I love a strawberry banana protein smoothie. I use chocolate protein powder, and that seems to taste very good. It doesn't have that typical protein drink taste that a lot of people don't like. High in protein, a great refreshing drink you can use as a breakfast or even a dessert. So I really wanted to nail down some categories as far as information and things to think about when you're switching over to a healthier lifestyle. So the first one is going to be moderation. I'm sure that you've heard it time and time again that moderation is definitely a big thing for you to focus on. You don't want to eat too much where you're super full and you're not feeling satisfied. I love to leave the table just feeling satisfied. Then I'm not having to feel super bloated or like I can't do anything. I just want to be lazy. Having smaller meals. So eating more frequently, every few hours, kind of like constant snacking, but instead of snacks, it's real food. It's just smaller portions, so that way you don't go into a ravenous kind of state where you're like, I gotta eat everything. And of course, a big part of moderation, specifically when you're eating something that is not the healthiest, having moderation so you're not consuming too much of it is going to be really key to making sure that you're keeping a good level. The next one is going to be prevention. Starting so young in my healthy eating journey, my biggest thing is keeping an eye on my health and just making sure that I'm preventing or helping to prevent anything long-term illness, anything big like dementia or Alzheimer's or cancer specifically. Of course, everything will vary depending on what your family genes have, what is prominent in your family. Eating healthy can also help to lessen those symptoms, even if you have to force it down your throat. I know when I'm sick, I don't want to eat anything. But making sure that you're having the right stuff like protein to keep your body healthier and having the energy is going to help a ton. And things have been shown to help kind of take the step back as far as not getting worse when it comes to big illnesses. So of course, I mentioned the genes in your family. Only 25% of your genes dictates what you're possibly facing in your future, but 75% of it is all dictated towards your nutrition levels and how you eat and how you exercise and how you take care of your body. Your skin, your hair, everything is a living organism, so you have to replenish it, you have to have the right things, give it the right food. So when you're taking in and consuming things that are made of chemicals or it's not man-made, it's not natural, all those things are going to contribute to all your energy, how your body's reacting to things, and overall health. Another big thing is your mental strength. So if you are somebody like me, I like to say I have really good mental strength. When you're grocery shopping and you're hungry when you're grocery shopping, you're just going to want to buy everything. The naughty stuff is going to look good. You're going to want the convenience that it's already made for you. So you just have to really pick well and have that mental strength to stop you from getting things that you're going to regret later on. But also having no grocery list is something that tends to make me buy a little bit worse as well. Something that I've been partaking in is fasting. So fasting is when you don't consume anything besides water. I think tea is allowed. So if you have 12 hours of fasting, typically that's going to be when you're sleeping. That's going to be the easiest. You're not feeling all the hunger. But I typically do 12 to 14, roughly, I'll say 8 p.m. to 8 or 10 in the morning. And it's really not too bad because I'll get up in the morning, I'll drink my water, and that will kind of replenish. As long as you can keep that mental strength of not eating, the fasting is really good for you. It's very healthy to kind of reset your body and not be eating too much before bed. And of course, I will say it time and time again, drink lots of water. The only beverage that I really consume is iced tea and water now. It used to be lemonade and water, but I found that lemonade is just always too sweet. I'm typically watering it down. So of course that's fine too. If you can get like an unsweet tea and just put your own sweetener that is healthier, then that's typically what I will end up doing. But drinking lots of water is going to be really good for your body, keep you hydrated, and especially if you're working out, definitely want to be hydrated. All right, knowledge, of course, is going to be something fairly important to know kind of what you're looking for. So for instance, if you're really bad at having a grocery list or you're really bad at shopping hungry, I would suggest, anytime really, I would suggest shopping at a very well-known health store. So I personally shop at Whole Foods. I also would like to shop at Trader Joe's more. I do see a lot of people shopping there. Or of course, Sprouts is another option. I just tend to like Whole Foods better. When you walk around there, they actually have images on the wall that will tell you, all of our foods don't contain this and this and this. And it's all just the unhealthy, fake things that you don't want in your food. The big ones, of course, anything unnatural. The big words that you can't pronounce because it's a scientific term or something, you don't know what it is. So having foods that are more pure and natural and organic will be your best bet. If they say they have tea and water and stevia sugar, then that's going to be pretty basic, pretty short list. You don't want things that have a lot of ingredients on there. Any of the food color dyes, so having something that says red 40, those are all fake things, so you want to try to avoid anything that has those items in there. Of course, there are things that are called the Dirty Dozen, the fruits and vegetables that are the Dirty Dozen, as well as the Clean 15. The Dirty Dozen are things that you want to focus on buying organic because the products are typically found to have chemicals, pesticides, or bugs, really. So things like apples, celery, tomatoes, cucumbers, grapes, and then the Clean 15 things, onions and avocados, pineapple, mango, cabbage, and watermelon. When it comes to animal byproducts, I focus on getting things that are organic, pasture-raised, like your eggs, and wild-caught for your fish, pasteurized, grass-fed for your beef, and a free-range organic diet for your chicken. What you're eating, what you're putting into your body, what you're consuming is also reliant on what those animals were fed. So if you're eating an animal byproduct, if they've got free range and grass-fed, it's going to be the most healthy for you to consume their product into your body. Also, just making sure that, I'm sure you've heard it 1,000 times, but tasting the rainbow. So when you're coming to your fruits and veggies, having the rainbow means you're getting a whole lot of variety. Of course, variety is very important as well, having moderation. So having the rainbow means you're just having a lot of color, you're getting things from different sources, and they all have their well-being of nutritional facts. So for instance, right now, I'm using red leaf butter lettuce, and then organic broccoli slaw. I have a rotisserie chicken that I deboned, antioxidant smart mix, which is dried cranberries, blueberries, almonds. I added sunflower seeds, cashews, pepitas or pumpkin seeds, and then I'm using a balsamic vinaigrette with olive oil. Getting a lot of color, a lot of nutrients. There's protein, your veggies, and some fruit in there as well. We also try to focus on getting things that are not imported. So if we can get something that's from the States, that's going to be our best bet. So for instance, this one is distributed from California. So it just makes it the most natural, quick, the least hands touching it. And of course, if we can find something that's in our state, then we're helping to support any local small businesses, things like that. Last but not least would be substitutions. So of course, that's a big thing. I don't want to have a limit to what I can and can't eat. So just having the ability to substitute, let's say butter for olive oil, whole wheat pasta versus a regular white pasta. Or a big one that we use is stevia, sugar versus fake sugars. We'll also use honey, that's completely natural. Also maple syrup. So that's gonna help your fat intake, having natural fats like avocado and olive oil versus ranch and mayonnaise are gonna be good substitutions as well. All right, this is looking pretty good. This is my dinner for the night. So good source of veggies and protein. I've already had my seeds for the day, so I'm not gonna add any into this, but salads, smoothies, cereal are great ways to add in those seeds that maybe if you don't like them, they hide them and you don't taste them. And they have a really great source of omega-3s, which are really healthy for you. So I typically try to add at least one of those in my daily consumption. But if I'm lucky like today, I'll make things that I can hide all three in. Okay, so I went grocery shopping, and on the menu for the next couple of days, I've got watermelon, hummus, cucumber I can use with that hummus, rotisserie chicken, string cheese. I've got lemons for avocado toast, and I made some homemade chimichangas. So I got flour tortillas and cranberry beans. If you've never tried them, they're like a refried bean, but it's cranberry beans. So they have a little bit of a sweetness to them. And I just recently tried them from Whole Foods, and I actually really enjoy them. So I put that with a little bit of cheese inside of a tortilla, folded it up like a burrito, and froze them. So now I have some homemade chimichangas that I can eat as well. I do, of course, have a few things that I am still working on myself, specifically having whole grains and whole wheat pastas or breads. It's a little bit harder for me to give up, but I did recently try a spaghetti with a whole grain or whole wheat spaghetti noodle, and I did not taste the difference pretty much at all. I also would really like to consume more fruits. I am not a fruit person, I'm a veggie person. I feel like you're kind of one or the other a lot of the time. So I would like to get more fruits in my diet. Recently we got apples, so I've been snacking on those. I don't like them, but I do force myself to eat them. Just as a little snack, I pair it with something that I really enjoy, like peanut butter or string cheese. I've also, of course, been experimenting a little bit with the homemade items. So instead of buying something that is either pre-made but fresh, so just convenience items, but also not buying the processed stuff that's frozen. So making homemade items and meal prepping is a great way to have ready on the go things. And last but not least, I'm working on immunity shots. So immunity shots are really great ways to keep your immunity boosted. They have a taste to them I'm not a fan of. It's usually ginger, turmeric, black pepper, oranges or orange juice. But being a shot, if you can find one that you can stand, you can just take the shot and then you're done. You can even chase it with some water maybe, but it's something that I am trying to work on, as I do get the common cold 2 or 3 times a year, and I would love to avoid that. All right, so that is what I've got for you this month. I do recommend the book Brain Food. It is from a Italian neuroscientist. I don't remember specifically, but Brain Food by Lisa Mosconi, PhD. I definitely recommend it. I took so many notes when I read this book. There's so much good information in here that I did not know. Of course, there are tons and tons of diets that you may find yourself trying. She speaks a lot in this book about the Mediterranean diet. I have done a lot of research on it, and I do feel it is one of the best lifestyle diets, if you want to call it that. It also involves happiness, positivity, working out, sleeping well, things like that. And then my boyfriend also really recommends this book, so give it a read. I haven't yet read it. I do plan to read that one as well, so I can get another perspective and get a little bit more into it. Lisa focuses a bit more on Alzheimer's and the cognitive memory and function, your internal organs, so very in-depth. And also down below, I have links to some YouTube videos that I find really helpful. You know, full disclaimer, I don't have any I don't have any schooling on being a nutritionist, scientist, anything like that. This is all just my experience of what I've learned and what I kind of have implemented into my daily life. So hopefully you got some information on all of that. Down below, I also have some other links to check out if you're interested. And I hope you guys stay positive.